In the next 30 minutes, NDC chairperson Johnson Asiedu Nketia finally breaks his silence on the controversial nationwide Thanksgiving tour, sparking controversy amongst members of the governing party, with some civil groups now describing the move as a needless ploy by Johnson Asiedu Nketia to nurse presidential ambitions.
We hatched the plan in the lead up to the 2024 general elections. The National announced 3 campaign teams.
There's more unfolding tonight, but we ask that big question: is General Mosquito really nursing a presidential ambition? We'll get answers to that for you shortly. Top story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and qual. Enjoy a holy sleep. And at long last, the NDC chairperson Johnson Asiedu Nketia has finally broken his silence on reasons for which he is embarking on a nationwide Thanksgiving tour, which is now being labelled by his critics as a ploy, actually, to nurse his presidential ambitions. Just weeks after President Mahama concluded a similar nationwide exercise on holding derbas across the country to thank Ghanaians for supporting the NDC's sweeping victory in the 2024 general elections, some key voices in the NDC now, and even some civil society groups, are now saying they are baffled as to why Johnson Asiedu Nketia will choose to embark on yet another thank you exercise. After a heated exchange in the NDC now over the real motives of Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the party stalwart has now decided to deal with the growing speculation with matters relating to why he is now embarking on a new nationwide campaign thank you tour, with some party supporters now in the Eastern region having to hear for the very first time the justification on the part of the NDC's national chair on why he is embarking on that exercise. We now have at Joy News the reasons for which Johnson Asiedu Nketia says he is embarking on this thank you tour. Let's take you to the Eastern region now. Maxwell Kudeko is our Eastern regional correspondent, joining us now via telephone lines. And Maxwell, many have been asking the question with Asiedu Nketia just saying a few words as to why initially he was embarking on the tour. But now he's giving us a sense as to why his critics should not be taken seriously on these claims that he is nursing presidential ambitions. So let's start off from the Eastern region where he is. At which part of this region did Johnson Asiedu Nketia make the explicit claim and explanation as to why the thank you tour is not a presidential ambition tour? Explain that to us, really.
Well, brother, he made this statement at the Zero Kobo constituency. So after that, he has repeated same at Asiedu but he mentioned same in Lower Menya, Asasoa, and even today, almost all the constituencies that he visited, he made it very clear that during the 2024 elections, the president and the vice president were tasked to deliver the presidential votes, whilst he took over the parliamentary election, especially in areas where they believed that the NDC were likely to lose. So he indicated that he visited most rural constituencies where he worked closely with the branch executives and the constituency executives to ensure that there is victory in the parliamentary election. He, as it were, attributed the high numbers of NDC MPs in parliament to the collective efforts he had with the branch executives in the last election, deeming it very fit to return to them and then appreciate their work and also encourage them that they should stay focused and loyal to the party. So in all the constituencies that he has visited, he echoed this purpose for his visit. And then also he's been talking about some other developmental projects and the agenda of President John Dramani Mahama.
Let's get into this. There's been a heated argument, as we know it, online amongst rank and file of the National Democratic Congress. Did you see any signs of discomfort, maybe, on the part of the party executives who were participating in this thank you meeting by Johnson Asiedu Nketia today?
Not exactly. The Eastern Regional Minister, Madam Rita, is on his tour. I've seen a couple of regional executives also join his campaign team in almost all the constituencies. That's appear that Mr. Asiedu Nketia speak the language that the party people want to hear. He's been talking about the fact that the party needs to stay focused and then also ensure that the campaign promise that they made about ensuring that the MPP people who have allegedly stolen money brought to book, that those campaign promises would be adhered to. He talked about the fact that the NDC made several promises to clean the judiciary and the electoral commission, and that those promises are on course, and several other promises, including job creation and all that he thinks that the president is doing in furtherance of the cause of the NDC. It does not appear that there are pockets of misagreement and misunderstanding among most of the people who participated in the engagement so far. There has not been any fierce resistance or any backlash throughout the key constituencies that we have visited so far.
And we know that he's scheduled to visit some other parts of the eastern region, meeting some more executives of the National Democratic Congress. But just before we listen to Johnson Asiedu Nketia, give us a context as to what the premise of his explanation is. He's been speaking a can, obviously, to the base of the party, explaining why he is doing what he's doing now. Give us context before we listen to Johnson Asiedu Nketia.
Well, so just a few minutes ago in the Nsawam Aduajiri constituency, in buttressing his involvement in the parliamentary victory of the NDC in the last election, he referenced the Nsawam Aduajiri seat, making the claim that the NDC won the Nsawam Aduajiri seat, but the Electoral Commission in cahoots with the MPP declared the election for Mr. Frank Dompre. He mentioned that the Nsawam Aduajiri and several other constituencies are part of the constituencies that he worked in trying to secure those seats. And he made reference to other seats where he his influence collectively with the other party executives culminated into the victory or the rescuing of those particular seats, especially in Nsawam Aduajiri. He mentioned that even though the EC declared the election for the MPP candidate, Mr. Anodom, optimistic that in 2028 he will ensure that the NDC will wrestle that seat. He made reference to Akotia, mentioning that they won the election. That is why they were in court. They only contested the by-election just to affirm the point that indeed they won the Akotia election in order in the 2024 election in order to make a claim against the EC and the MPP. So it is based on this context and the kind of influence that he had in the victory of the NDC parliamentary election. That the reason why I'm moving on, thanking them and also assuring them that the kind of congratulatory message that the party runs on has no the young people.
The campaign 2024. Let's for now so say the campaign team the son. Bako President Mahama Ebeli the person Professor Nandi the Popa Imai also Ebeli Bako.
We hatched a plan in the lead up to the 2024 general elections. The National announced 3 campaign teams. President John Mahama and his running mate focused on the presidential race, while I deal with the NPP strategy to undermine our electoral victory by sweeping parliamentary seats.
President Mahama and Professor focus on presidential election. Na party campaign team a yɛbɛte a memeda no.
And apologies if you're not able to audibly hear Johnson Asiedu Nketia give context as to why he's embarking on this thank you tour, which has sparked outrage in some within some quarters of the NDC. But let's get a bit of a breakdown as to what he's doing and why Johnson Asiedu Nketia is embarking on this tour, which is now raising eyebrows as to whether or not he's lacing his boots for the ultimate to be the next flag bearer of the NDC. Wanda Victor Kuto is a National Executive Committee member of the NDC. He's also board chair of the VRA, joining us now. Thank you so much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. I want us to be clear on this. Is this a party-sanctioned activity? The thank you tour, yet again by your party chair, just weeks after President Mahama did say.
Yeah, let me make a quick correction. I'm not a board chair for VRA. I'm a board member for VRA.
That's right. Apologies there. Yeah, well noted.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much, and good evening to our listeners. I mean, this is a very simple matter. We went for an election. The party has won, and the national chairman had to embark on a thank you tour. And I'm surprised people are complaining. Some people are complaining. What is the problem? What is the problem? Look, if you look at the campaign that we ran, for the first time, we had a different style of campaigning. You have a campaign where the national chairman had to lead a particular team. The flag bearer also led a team. Running mate led a team. The general secretary was coordinating the various campaigns. There were other subgroups. And I remember, because I had followed the national chairman in one of the campaigns in the Asante region, he told them that, look, if they agree and vote for President Mahama, he himself will come back to thank them. I remember I was with him. So what is wrong with the national chairman decides to go and thank our people?
Victor, that's not the import of my question. I'm asking if this is a party-sanctioned activity. Is the NDC and by its extension the full party machinery behind this decision by Johnson Asiedu Nketia to embark on a tour?
That is why I'm giving the basis, so you know by the time I finish, you know that it is sanctioned, because the party sanctioned that campaign strategy of allowing different sub-campaign teams. So if the party agreed that the national chairman can lead a campaign, and the chairman, as part of that campaign that brought us to power, promised the people that he will come back to thank them, can we say that the process of going to thank the people is not approved? No, we can't say that. We can't say that, because we agreed on the calendar, on the political strategy to use to claim power. And if today, that strategy that we use to claim power, the chairman is riding on that same distance to go back to the people, and we are complaining. So are we saying that about some Ghanaians, you only have to go to them during election time? What kind of country are we becoming? You can't go back to show gratitude? What?
Okay. What do we make of John Mahama, the president's tour when he went around all 16 regions thanking the people of Ghana? Exactly what was that for?
If you look at the president tour, and because the president has a mandate to govern this country, the president tour was centered on virtually regional capitals. And the campaign that we did, we had to go to some communities. The national chairman campaign did not go to he did not go to any capital, any regional capital or constituency capital. He went to some communities and made certain pledges. But you understand that the president has a lot on the table. He's resetting Ghana. He cannot be going to the various communities to thank everybody. So the president tour was quick. So every region, for example, he comes to one point and then moves. But the national chairman is going back to those communities that he went to make those promises. So these are two different things. The president is focused. The president is resetting this country. There's no doubt about that. We should not miss the issues. The national chairman has not gotten any major appointment that we say he's doing governance. He has the right as a national chairman to go to the people to thank them. It's good for we the party. People are disgruntled. People are not happy. The base. So you have to go there and listen. So in thanking, listen, give feedback. It's also very important.
Okay, your base is not happy. Your base is not happy that you haven't performed, or what exactly?
I'm saying that some quarters of the party are not happy because of appointment issues. You know this. I mean, these are things that are obvious. I will not pretend about it. Some persons are not happy with how appointment has gone so far. You understand? So the national chairman going out, you could hear some of the comments reassuring them that their time will come and all of that.
They should have told the president. They should have told the president when he came to their regions.
It is not everything that is being told to the president that will come out publicly. There's a reason why the national chairman assured persons that their time will come.
Okay.
And yet, and let me finish. If you look at the big push agenda, by the time all these policies are fulfilled, everybody will be happy. Everybody will be happy because
Wanda, the reason for which I was making that intervention was because I mean, let's face it, you want us to be frank and to have a frank discussion. So here's the thing: some persons within your party believe that he's taking undue advantage of the chairmanship position. He's nursing his presidential ambitions. I'll give you an example. Ras Mubarak is online. Then had gone to say what the rationale of this tour is if it's not aimed at nursing presidential ambitions.
Like I said, the national chairman is performing his duty as national chairman. He campaigned as national chairman. He's going back to the people to thank the people. So if, for example, a minister of state goes to a region to perform a particular official duty, will it be fair to say that the minister is campaigning to be president? If the chief of staff, for example, has been sent by the president to perform a particular task, will it be proper to say that, because the chief of staff has gone to meet a certain group of people, he's campaigning to be president? Let us not do this to ourselves. Respectfully, let's just take things as they come and try to be candid. The national chairman has stated clearly that he's going to thank the people he promised during the campaign, of which some of us witnessed. He told them that when he votes for President Mahama to win the election, he will be back to thank them. So if today the national chairman has gone back to the base to thank them, I don't think there should be an issue. Why are we in a rush? Why are people saying he's going to contest for president? Has any nomination been open?
Yeah,
I'm not aware of that.
Interesting question you're asking there. Wanda Victor Kuto is a member of the National Executive Committee of the NDC. Just stay on for us. There are more persons joining us, but tonight we cannot entirely, based on what Wanda is telling us, rule out the possibility of Johnson Asiedu Nketia's desire to lead the NDC as its next presidential candidate. We're making that projection based on General Mosquito's own comments when he appeared on Joyce's late news night program, PM Express, when the question was posed to him as to whether or not Johnson Asiedu Nketia plans to be the next flag bearer of the NDC. Here's what he said earlier this year. Listen.
You say they must know who wants to contest first. Does Asiedu Nketia want to contest?
We are not there yet. Immediately after you win elections, if you begin talking about who will be or how you are going to win the next elections, it could mean an insult to the population, because they will take you to mean that, after all, you are not interested in delivering on your promises at all. I never planned to go to Parliament at all. I chose a different career path, but circumstances drew me to become a member of Parliament. And even as a member of parliament, I never thought of becoming a general secretary. So as a member of parliament, if I had done a press conference to say that, no, I would never be a general secretary in my life, it could have been a hindrance at the point where there was pressure for me to be general secretary. And even as general secretary, it was not in my plan to become national chairman, but circumstances again pushed me to become national chairman. So you don't rule out any other position. Today, if you ask me whether I want to be the General Secretary of United Nations, I will say, well, why not? It's a possibility. So that said, you have another problem of cohesion in the government. If you begin dividing yourselves into campaign groups, how are you going to stick together to govern the country? The names that are being mentioned, somebody is a chief of staff, somebody is a minister operating under a chief of staff, somebody is a vice president, somebody is national chairman, somebody is this. If you present them as competitors, how do you run the cabinet? And anything any of them does could easily be construed to mean campaigning for himself or herself.
So many would say Johnson Asiedu Nketia projected this. He warned the party about it. Dr. Asante is a political scientist, University of Ghana. And then we have Musa Dankwa of Global Info Analytics joining as a polling agent. They do polls actually on what the popularity of all these individuals we're hearing of are. We'll be getting into all of that shortly, Musa. But let me come to you, Dr. Asante. You're still with us. You've heard the justification from Wanda Victor Kuto explaining why the chairperson is on the store. But we've just heard him say this could breed animosity within the NDC. And it's all because some say we're not stopping this little tendencies. We've seen Julius Deborah Camp also doing some walks. Johnson Asiedu Nketia has decided to join the thank you tour. How do we stop this? And if not, as he's warning, the NDC will of course face some challenges.
I believe that there's nothing wrong going to say thank you for people who have voted for you and who supported you through thick and thin. But always there's a caution. The caution is that if there are differences relative to that, then the party must sit down and address it. Otherwise, you saw what happened in MPP. It becomes something that the party is not interested in. So if you want to maintain cohesion and all that, and there is this move, backing on thank you talk, and that there are, a lot of talk about it, then there is a need to come to the base, sit down with party people, you agree on what to do or the mode of it, and then that's it. It shouldn't be something that should tear the party apart, because I am fortified by the statement of Asiedu Nketia with his interview with Evans Mensah, where he did say that people must get busy and work and forget about positions and all that, just to paraphrase him, and so that the party can, do its research and the party can meet the aspirations of the people. And above all, the party would not be misconstrued to be doing something that will be insulting to those who give them money.
Yeah, and it appears on that note that his advice was not heeded, not by any mere person, but the chief of staff of this republic. We've seen him embark on a health walk, he calls it, walk with Julius. Some say that was the starting point of all of this. You agree?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that if the health walk is also problematic, I am saying that the party must come together and decide which one they will sanction, which one they will not. Because it's early days yet for them to be fighting over position and all that. They need to work and still win the confidence of people who give them that power. So I believe that now that these things are rearing their ugly heads in their system, it tells me that there is a problem. So they need to find solutions so that they don't divide their ranks in these early days that they are running the affairs of the state. It will not help them.
Yeah, it will certainly not help, as you're saying. You know that better. But let's hear from Musa Dankwa. You've been carrying out some polls on likely individuals who may be in the leader or the front runners for the NDC's next presidential primaries. Obviously, that will happen in a year or two from now. But what was your last check, and where did Asiedu Nketia feature in all of this?
Right, Blessed, thank you very much for having me. We've done 2 polls, April and July, which focus on the NDC primaries. In the April poll, it was quite clear that Mosquito wasn't in the race at the time. He was on 13%, and you had Haruna Idrisu and the other 24 for Haruna Idrisu, 16% for Atufosin, and 13% for Ablakwa, and also 13% for Mosquito. But subsequent to that, in the July poll, we saw Asiedu making a very huge improvement in his polling numbers, moving from 13% to 26%. But Haruna remained on top at 27%.
And this is new because we never hear you talk about this.
No, it's not new. It's always been there.
Oh, and Asiedu Nketia is now coming close to Haruna Idrisu, you say?
Yes, in that July poll.
But who's on top of that list?
Haruna Idrisu on 27%, Asiedu Nketia on 26%, Atufosin on 22%, Debra on 11%. The top 4 of the NDC candidate.
Interesting figures there. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. Wonder Victor Kuto, just before we go, who's paying for this tour by Asiedu Nketia, by the way?
What did he say?
Who's paying for the tour?
Oh, honestly, I do not know. I have not spoken with him. I have not spoken with his team. But like I said, he's the national chairman of the party.
I thought you said this was a party-sanctioned activity.
The party structures must still work. The party structures must still work. I'm not going to be on radio to tell you how we fund our party activities. I won't do that. You understand? We run a campaign in this country, and I'm not going to tell you how we funded the campaign, how the national chairman went around the country, how other national executives went around the country, and how the flag bearer, now president, went around the country. I'm not going to say that on air. Yeah. But I'm saying that the party must not collapse because we are in government. It is the party that gives birth to government. Party that gives birth to government.
Your call has been put on hold. Please wait.
We can hear you, Victor. Yeah.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Yes, I'm saying that it is the party that gives birth to government. So the fact that we have a government, it doesn't mean that the umbilical cord has to be cut, fact that the party will be collapsed. No. There's still some linkage. And if the national chairman decides to continue his party work, that should not be seen as undermining the party cohesion and party unity. In the same manner, ministers of state, chief of staff, everybody can do their official duties. The problem is doing calculations prematurely, that because the general secretary is doing this, because the chief of staff is doing this, because the national chairman is doing this, because AMA is doing this, it means this will happen. No, let's allow everybody to do their work. Ministers are doing their work, the chief of staff is doing his work, the national chairman is doing his work, general secretary is doing his work. Let everybody do their work.
Grateful.
When we get to that bridge, everybody will cross.
Okay. Victor Wonder Kuto, member of the NDC's National Executive Committee, joining us here on Top Story. Also grateful to you, Dr. Asante and Musa Dankwa of Global Info Analytics. I am blessed to come. Top Story brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies, holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep.